Good morning. It is Monday, March the 9th, 2026. We hope everyone had a nice weekend. It was some really nice weather here in Charleston. I guess some rain last evening, which I saw the gray clouds coming. I was like, ooh, I better get some weed and feed out there to start the spring off right here. Try to get some grass that might be working. So. That was good, but it's fine. Tyson and I in the office here, I might have mentioned in previous videos, he and I are coaching our boys' soccer teams. All right, so we had our second practice over the weekend. Trying to keep. I don't know. I think we're making progress. I will say coaching the boys is a little more challenging than what I experienced with coaching my daughter. When she was a little younger, around this age. So hope you had a great weekend. Obviously, a lot going on in markets over the last week. So U.S. markets moving 3 to 4% off all-time highs kind of throughout last week and over the weekend here as the Iranian conflict war deepens. All right, so oil, without question, is from a market perspective anyway, that's the story. All right, so just 2 weeks ago, oil would be trading in the 60s, kind of high 60s, and overnight we saw it spike to nearly $120 a barrel. Okay, so that's close to doubling in a very short time period. All right, so why? I just thought, for today's video, just to kind of go over some basics, like why does the price of oil matter so much to financial markets and stocks in particular. All right, so as a reminder, like when as an owner of equities, okay, so as an owner of stocks, that means you have a fractional claim to the cash flows and profits of the biggest in businesses and everything in between throughout the world. Okay, so you have a claim to the cash flows and profits of businesses. And so, a lot of times I say, so what's the test? What's a question you can ask yourself as to whether fill in the blank event that's happening, will it have an impact on stock prices? All right, so in this case, how does fill in the blank, impact the cash flows and profits of the business, the biggest businesses in the world? All right, so for many businesses, so tying this into oil, for many businesses, oil is the very most important input cost. Okay, I just listed a handful here, but just think about how much some businesses need it for transportation, manufacturing, chemicals, agriculture, airlines, shipping. I mean, these days, even like data centers, all right? Like they all need oil to run their businesses, and some of them need a lot of it. All right, so when oil goes from $60 a barrel to $120 a barrel, you can see how unless those businesses are able to raise prices, right? So pass those increased costs to the consumers, their profit margins, so where they make money after revenue minus their costs, oil being a big one, what's left in terms of profit, that's going to get squeezed. So when you hear like profit margins being squeezed, that's what's going on. Okay, at the consumer level, oil, I mean, the obvious one is gas, right? So you're going to see higher gas prices this week, right? So that happens really fast, right? So gas prices higher reduces the discretionary spending for Americans. But really the bigger concern, and it ties back to kind of the first point, the bigger concern is if companies still have enough demand to try to raise the prices, right? Try to pass through that increased oil costs into the form of higher prices. Here's where inflation happens, right? So that's when you get in this inflation mess, which is looking at markets last week. What does inflation mean? Well, then we go through this whole domino effect that we saw in 2022, where now you have the Fed being forced to hike rates, or there's interest rate cuts that were kind of in the forecast, but maybe that gets slowed down. Maybe they can't cut interest rates anymore, and so that dominoes into bond yields and a number of other pieces. So we'll see the way it plays out. Obviously, oil matters. Just overnight, even we saw it again. It spiked near $120 a barrel. Last I looked, closer to like 102. So it has come back lower a little bit here in the last 10, 12 hours. But yeah, we'll see the way it plays out. Obviously, some uncertainty from a retirement planning perspective. This is why we always think it's so important to have again that war chest of cash and bonds, right? Because if this does last weeks, months, a few years, you want to have enough income sitting in some safer investments, because nobody knows. If anyone tells you they know the way this is going to play out, or any other event, like, you run the other way. So have a process in place. Another thing to point out, last week the jobs number was not good. All right, so a disappointing jobs number for February. So again, the Fed's kind of in a tough spot here, because we've been talking about, with higher interest rates, like at some point we would think the economy would slow a bit, and now you throw oil on top of it. The Fed's in a tough spot. I would say, just a silver lining from a market perspective, the U.S. dollar has really gained a lot of strength here in recent weeks. So there was some concern. Could the U.S. dollar lose its kind of status as the global currency, right? The number one kind of stronghold. And over the last couple of weeks, the dollar has done nothing but gain strength. All right, so I guess a silver lining to some there to see the dollar performing so well through this. So I don't know, we'll see. Questions, comments, concerns, reviews have been great, by the way. Really fun to catch up with many of you and update plans and hear about summer travel. So we hope everyone has a great week, and looking forward to seeing a number of you in the office here in the coming days as well. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.